Hello everyone and welcome to It's a Sure Thing, our next episode this evening in Adelaide, coming live stream from my office. It's a Sure Thing is part of the Enlightened Tribe community making a difference. It's about uplifting people, sharing, growing, learning together with a global minded consciousness of people that are heart-centered. And every week we showcase somebody who's making a difference in the world and leading by example. A little bit about our guest this evening. It's a beautiful lady who is a life force consultant, hence the title, May the Force Be With You. And her name is AdiShakti, which actually means add Shakti, add energy. She's a practitioner of Eden Energy Medicine, an authorised teacher of Eden Energy Medicine, and the method, and she's also a yoga teacher and Kundalini yoga teacher, and she does a million other things. She's based at Abergeldy House, if you want to go and see her in Adelaide, Glen Osmond, and she's got a 25-year career spanning in tertiary education in Japan, and then as a native on a Native American reservation in the United States, which inspired her to learn Eden energy, and that's where she met Donna Eden, which we'll talk about shortly when we bring her in to the live. So she now educates and guides students of life to access their own energy reserves and optimize their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. I've personally had many healings with this beautiful lady. She's also been a guest speaker at Enlightened Tribe events, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome AdiShakti. She's coming in a minute. Here she is.
Hello, I'm here. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you, AdiShakti. So beautiful to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you just share with us a bit of your journey and Eden Energy Medicine and what that is?
Of course, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you and your tribe, our tribe. It's a great pleasure to have this opportunity to share Eden Energy Medicine with you. Basically, as you mentioned in the introduction, I was in education, higher education for all of my professional life, on 2 continents, in Asia and then in the Americas. And I realized as I was teaching that people did not know how to take care of themselves. And, like students can't study at their best. They can't optimize their content if they're not calm and relaxed. So I thought, I've got to do something to help my students. So I started with Brain Gym. So I would use Brain Gym with my classes. I always started classes with Brain Gym. And these were adults. When I say students, I wasn't teaching younger people. I was teaching adults.
Right.
And so some of them were a little hesitant. But once they had the experience of what it did to them and how that helped them after we finished and we started the class, they were into it. So that sort of got me into, and then I fell into finding Donna.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd studied other modalities up to that point because I was always interested, because I've always known that the body is so much more complex than medicine and science understand. I mean, there's been a lot of progress done up to this point, but the wisdom, the innate healing capability of the body it's there. And if you can tap into it, incredible things can happen for your mind, for your physical body, for your emotions. And so I was always driven by the desire to seek to help myself, first of all, and then to help my students perform better, study better, remember better, have better relationships with each other, with their family members. And I stumbled by coincidence into Donna's work. And once I found her work, I knew life would never be the same. So I studied, and I didn't know at that point in time. I was just studying it so I could be a better teacher and educator. But then I realized, Donna somehow gave me the mission to come back to Australia because I hadn't lived here in many, many years. And I visited regularly because I have family here, but I never thought that I'd come back and live here.
Well, aren't we lucky to have you back here? And I think you're the only practitioner, aren't you, in Adelaide?
Yes, I'm the only practicing practitioner and advanced practitioner and energy, well, they call it now the Eden method teacher of that. So yeah, I'm excited. I love it, and I just love to see how it helps people because it's simple, it works quickly. It's just a beautiful practice, and there's something for everything, and it's all about bringing balance into your life, into your energy, because everything is energy if you think about it, right?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I learned from the last presentation you did for the Enlightened Tribe group is you actually showed us some exercises to do, some little tips to do, and I do those. Some of them I do every single morning, and it just helps to clear my energy and just boost. And I think we're all really needing that life force, that booster, that immune booster shot, if you like. So how do we do that? Can you share with us just a few simple tips to just instantly raise your vibration, your energy?
Yeah, well, let's what should we do first? Well, let's have an experience of how doing something with the physical body can actually alter your energy, right? So maybe at this point in time, everyone who's watching has had a busy day, and maybe some people are feeling a little bit tired, right?
Yeah.
So if we all come to find your collarbone and just trace your hands down towards the throat notch, then when you get to those bony points, I'm just going to come up a little bit so you can see me in the screen. So we're coming down the collarbone, and we're finding the two bony points, right? Now drop down maybe 2.5 centimeters, and your fingers will naturally fall into two indentations on either side. It might be directly down and just a little bit to the side.
Yeah.
Now you can rub with some pressure or tap with some firm pressure here. And take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just 3 or 4. And really, really, really tap here with firm pressure. Not to the point you'll see it's kind of red for me. I don't want you to bruise yourself, but
Yeah.
what we're doing here is well, first of all, let's see the effect. So let's just do this for a few moments.
It works for each individual, whatever the pressure is, the same as massage, if you like a strong pressure or a soft pressure.
But actually, no, if it's just this, we're not going to do anything.
Great. I'm glad I said that. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because it really needs to be quite firm here, and I'll explain why in a moment.
Okay.
All right, let's stop. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just tune in and see how you're feeling. You should be able to feel, oh, I've got a little more energy. That's my experience. So I'm hoping that'll be everybody else's experience. So why do we tap here, and why does that give us a boost in energy? Well, actually, these points are kidney 27 acupressure points on the kidney meridian. The kidney meridian is all about the life force and energy that we get in our system. It's like the driving force. I mean, they all give us energy, but that one specifically. And this point is also the juncture point for all of the meridians, which are actually energy pathways, and they come from the traditional Chinese medicine school of thought.
Yeah.
So all of the meridians actually cross here. This is the juncture point for all of those meridians. When we get tired, the body, in its infinite wisdom to keep us safe, starts to kick the energies backwards. So they're moving backwards so that we can stop, rest, recuperate, right? Yep. And then when we feel more energized, we carry on with whatever we're doing. But when we really need a boost of energy, this is the way to kind of stimulate all of those meridians so that they can kick forward and we can keep going.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like I've just activated. It's like an activator, isn't it? And it's like all tingly and hot, and
Exactly.
oof, it feels good. And Ada's just put, she feels lighter. And just picking up on the comment from Sky saying, wow, I totally resonate with the learning. And when you're calm, you absorb more. And you know, when you're stressed out, you can't take in anymore, can you? You just have to. Yeah,
that's right. Yes. So that's just one example of how, you know, manipulating the body in a way, whether you're tapping or whether you're stretching, whatever it is, because whenever we feel we're not in balance, it means that there is some disruption in the flow of energy. And so we have tools, and you don't have to go out and buy anything. This is what I love about Eden Energy Medicine. We, you know, as a practitioner, I have some tools, but mostly 90% of the work that I do is with my hands, right? And then I teach people to do the same thing when they go home, right? So I'm really big on self-care.
yes, yes,
Really
absolutely.
big on self-care.
And you do it really well. And I know, because I have personally come and had a one-on-one session with you when I just felt totally all over the place, scattered and fragmented. And I think it was a very, very long session, because you could feel and sense that, and you just kept bringing the energy back, using those meridians and everything. And I remember it like a trip. Is it called the triple warmer?
Warmer, yes, our good friend Triple Warmer.
Could you share a little bit about the triple warmer, because that fascinated me?
Yeah, so triple warmer is what we call the stress response, right? And I refer to triple warmer as a he because it's a very young energy, very masculine energy. And sometimes he gets a bit of a bad rap because he's sort of like the overzealous general in the army who goes berserk to keep you safe at any cost, right? It doesn't matter what he needs to do, because his job is to keep us safe. And we need triple warmer. We wouldn't have survived as a species without triple warmer.
Okay.
However, you know, this is 2021 and not everything is a danger, right? I mean, yes, there are instances where we might get into physical danger, but generally speaking, you know, getting a phone call from your boss might be scary, but it's not life-threatening, right? Mm-hmm. Driving in peak hour traffic for some people can be very stressful, but it's not life-threatening. But triple warmer, in his desire to keep us safe, goes completely ballistic. And what I mean by that is he pulls energy and resources from everybody else, from all the other meridians, which can keep us in a constant state of fight, flight, freeze. And then, you know, we're never in a good position when we're always in that state. All of those stress hormones flushing through our system, and, you know, health is impacted. That, you know, science has proven too many stress hormones in the system causes health issues.
Sure. So when you say, where is triple war, it's where is it in the body? You can feel it in your body?
I'll trace it for you so you can see. It starts on the ring finger, the one closest to the pinky, on the inside, and it goes down the top of the hand. Oops, let me see if I can keep myself. It goes down the top of the hand, sort of behind the elbow, up the back of the arm, onto the shoulder, up the neck, around the ear. Whoops, this way. Around the ear, back of the ear, and then it sort of ends sort of about here near the temple. It's a bit hard seeing yourself on that.
No, it's really weird.
Bilateral, so it's on both sides of the body. And so there are things we can do to sort of calm him down. So a very simple thing, sometimes you'll notice people do this, right? Smoothing the hair behind their ears. That's just a natural instinct of the body to calm triple warmer.
Yeah.
Right? That's all it is.
So we can ask the viewers to just do that now if they want to with us, and just
think of something that stresses you out, actually. Okay. Not major stress, but just something that kind of stresses you out. And then just take a few deep breaths and just smooth your hands behind the ears. And with this, all of the work we do in the Eden Energy Medicine, we always breathe in through the nose mindfully, out through the mouth. Why? Because that helps two particular meridians, the one that runs up the front of the body, central meridian, and the one that runs up the back, governing meridian, and they connect at the back of the throat, and that sort of keeps us contained. So beautiful. FYI, in through the nose, out through the mouth when we do any of these exercises.
Okay. All right, beautiful. And that just feels really soothing. And, it's not often you get your ears touched, is it? And, it's quite an erogenous zone for some people too, but we won't go there. It's just so nice. And
it is. And so the other thing that I also love about Eden Energy Medicine is that you can just do it anywhere and it doesn't have to look weird. I mean, there are other exercises that you might not feel very comfortable doing in public, but there is always a way to kind of make it work for you.
Yeah.
And this, no one would know what you were doing. You could be in a meeting and just do this. They'll be like, she's fixing her
hair. Beautiful. And I remember you saying to me once about when my energy was just scattered, or it was just going one way, like a train line going one way, and then we had to just practice with the mind crossing over. So would you mind sharing a little bit about that, please?
And that's really important. I'm so glad, because I know you've been doing your self-care, so I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So crossing over is really, really, really important for everybody. Mm-hmm. Because if we're not crossing over, we're not functioning at 100%, right? So sometimes our energies will run up and down. Again, that's a self-preservation mechanism. So for whatever reason, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Whenever we find things that aren't supposed to do what they're supposed to do, I never think it's bad. I just find it interesting information. Mm-hmm. When our energies are running up and down, and actually we're born as babies, our energies are running up and down, right? We are born with homolateral energy. When we start crawling, that's when we start getting that crossover pattern. So the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain start communicating and crossing over. And so why is that important? It's important because when we're not crossing over, like I said, we're not going to be able to function at 100%. So it doesn't matter what we do. So if we're sick, we can't get better. We can try everything. We're not going to allow, the intervention to last. And if people have had a history of depression, I can guarantee without assessing or testing them that they are probably running up and down most of the time.
Okay.
And so very easy to fix. And there are a number of different ways. And I'll share one that can really feel nice, because I think probably tonight it's sort of about sort of sinking into the experience, not doing too much vigorous movements. So if you bring any finger, I use my middle finger between the eyebrows, and then very slowly start to trace around the eyes. It doesn't matter which eye first, and then cross over at the bridge of the nose. Very slowly. So we're tracing a figure 8 or an infinity sign, whatever you want to call it. We call them figure 8s in Eden Energy Medicine. And if you think you're going slow down a little more, right? Most people go too fast.
Speedy Gonzalez, I was just like, and when you do it in the healing, it's like, you just totally sink deeper.
Well, the body loves it. And so let's take a few moments for everyone to kind of have a little experience. So maybe 3 or 4 traces around, but really slow. connect to your breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And while you do that, I'll just kind of talk about the figure 8.
Okay.
So the crossover, if you think about it, it's a kind of figure 8 coming back and forth, back and forth. It's one of the most predominant patterns that exist in our energy field. And so the more we trace that figure 8, the healthier we are, and the more coordinated we feel, the more cohesive our energies become, because we're working with 9 different energy systems in Eden Energy Medicine. And this is just a really easy way to just help. There are a number of other ways too, but I thought this one would be really lovely tonight.
Oh, and I'd forgotten about this one, AdiShakti, so thank you so much.
That's all right. So yeah.
And we're just going to go, I'm just going to let the others keep doing that. I'm assuming they're doing that because I can't see anyone. So Bex mentioned on there that she used to get her kids to go to sleep by stroking around their ears. And Sky's put, wow, where can I learn Eden Energy? I've completed level 1 and 2 of 5-element acupressure, but I love the Zen approach.
Yes.
The meridians.
Well, Sky, unfortunately, we don't. I think there's a teacher in Sydney who teaches the first year of Eden Energy Medicine, and the rest of the classes are all in the United States or in England. It's not all the time, but it's another place where they do have some classes. Ideally, and I hope we don't have to wait too long, I will become a teacher who teaches people about Eden Energy Medicine so that they can apply it into their own. I mean, they can already do it now. If you come and see me and I share exercises, you can do whatever you need with them.
Yeah.
And as an Eden method teacher, I can teach the public about different topics related to Eden Energy Medicine, but not to the degree that you would want to be a practitioner.
Yeah. But for Sky, who's already got the acupressure qualification, it would just be a beautiful addition. And I know I use some of it in my Reikis and my other healings that I do here. So
yeah, exactly.
It feels good. If it feels good for me, so definitely book a session, which we'll talk about in a moment. But Roz has put, what is she doing? Bringing back some memories for Roz. It's bringing back some memories. So yeah, awesome. Well, we are nearly out of time. So I love what you've just shared with us. Thank you. And I know there's so much more. And perhaps it's time to organize another workshop so that people can come along.
Absolutely, yes, exactly, yes, that's in the pipeline. So
right. And so people will be able to find that event on the Enlightened Tribe directory, which AdiShakti is a member of, which is through the susure.com.au website. And she's got a special introductory offer for guests on the show today, or anybody who's watching it as a replay. So a free complimentary half-hour consultation for everyone. How amazing is that? So with you at Abergeldy House, and if they're interstate or overseas, you can do it online as well. And they can get hold of you through your Facebook page.
Yes, or my website. So my Facebook page is Eden Energy Medicine with AdiShakti. Or you can just go to my website, www.shakti.com.
Beautiful. And those details are on the comments as well. So that's a wrap. Like, may the force be with you, beautiful lady. That was just amazing. Thank you. And thank you to everybody for checking in and all the comments and the interaction. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Lovely.